Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here now that my 2 informative videos are done for the day, which included my deadlift workout from this morning, which is me doing a bunch of sets of deficit deadlifts, beltless. It's time for me to talk about current events in the online fitness community. Today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite Myco trim. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about it. So people linked me a video he did with Super Training with Mark Bell the other day. And they're like, look, he's making these crazy claims about how big he was lean natty as a teenager, blah, blah, blah. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But what I thought was interesting was the lift comparison. And that's the thing that just made me kind of laugh a little bit. And granted, it was further into the other two guys' workout, but the fact that he comes in and he's outlifting Brian Shaw, 3-time world strongest. He won 3 times, am I right? Am I counting that right? He won the world's strongest man 3 times. And he is a big dude. Dude is massive. Dude is massive. Especially when you see him standing next to these other people. You see him next to O'Hearn and other people. Dude is a monster. The fact that he comes in and outlifts him and Smelly. He outlifts Smelly and Brian Shaw on the incline bench. Because, you know, Brian Shaw was doing 365. Mike does a couple sets, couple doubles with 405. Unless they did 2 different camera angles, did a couple sets in there. Now, you mean to tell me that Mike O'Hearn is a lifetime natty just because he's taking duck eggs that he sells for $700 is stronger on the incline bench than the 3-time world's strongest man, which is not drug tested at all in any way, is stronger on the incline bench than him, and the guy's weighing well over 300 pounds. I don't know his weight. He could be 400. I don't know. But there's no way that guy's not way past 300 pounds. Now, people say, well, it's the incline. It's more of a bodybuilder movement. World's Strongest Man competitors do overhead pressing. They do a lot of log pressing. That's some of their competitive endeavors. Strongman requires you to be strong on the overhead press, and that usually involves some backward lean the way they do it. Almost every one of those guys are monstrously strong on the incline. They have to be. So even just because he's done a few work sets of some other stuff, he's weaker. Then Mike O'Hearn claims lifetime natty in his mid-40s, mind you. He's like, what, 46, 47 now? Claiming lifetime natty still is going to out-incline. But in fact, doing 405 and actually touching the chest on the incline, and it wasn't a shallow incline, that was a 45-degree incline. Don't tell me you're natty doing that and lean while doing it. We're not talking about a really fat dude who bulked up and did it. No, he's a lean doing it. You know, and people are like, why do you pick on Mike O'Hearn so much? Honestly, Mike actually seems like a nice guy outside of the con man stuff. I'm not going to lie. If I were to take just the personality that he portrays, seems to be a friendly person, nice person, a dog lover, loves animals. If I were to take that at face value, I'd say he probably isn't a bad guy. Problem is that he's a con man. The problem is that he pulls this fake natty nonsense. And then the worst part of it, he doesn't just pull the fake natty, oh, I've done all this natural. He sells and endorses extremely overpriced products and endorses them with his natty status. And I mean mind-bogglingly overpriced. I don't just mean, oh, it's $100 more than it should cost. No. He promotes products that are hundreds and hundreds of dollars more than what they're actually worth. And that's scary. And use his natty status to do it. The 2 biggest ones were the Frog. Remember, they wanted $1,500 for that device. You know what? You could build that device in your garage, probably with stuff you buy at Home Depot and like a drill press and stuff, for probably $100 or less. $1,500, and he endorsed it and ran contests around it. Sells duck eggs, cryogenically frozen duck eggs, for $700 for a 1-month supply, for like 30 duck eggs. $700 on his website, and claims that's his key to his longevity and youth. I'm sorry, I just can't respect that. I can't like that. I have to call the guy out for stuff like that. There's no choice. I don't care what sort of nice guy he portrays himself as. You can't hustle people like that and be a good person. You just can't. And even if you're good in every other area, you need to be called out on that. I mean, when you do something that bad, there's little minor things. There's minor white lies. There's things that don't hurt people. If a guy just jumps up and says, yeah, I'm Natty, because he doesn't want to get caught by the police, he doesn't want to go to jail for doing something illegal, or just a minor white lie because it's socially unacceptable, I wouldn't care. You know what? That's a harmless lie. No one cares about a lie that actually hasn't harmed anybody. But when you're selling insanely overpriced products based on a lie, and you're actually hustling people with a lie to get them to buy products for hundreds and hundreds of dollars more than they're worth, or in some cases $500 or $1,000 more than they're worth, sorry, that's just wrong. That's wrong. That sort of lie has to be called out because it's directly harming people, and the whole claim of the natty status to go with it. And I mean, truth be told, we can talk all we want about people telling a lot of lies, but this is someone who that's a really, really big lie. Same thing as far as even meats he claims to have won. Where are they? There's no records of the meets that he claims to have won. Powerlifting meets. He even talking this one. I won my first powerlifting meet at 14, my first bodybuilding show at 14. He talks about being a powerlifting champion, but he hasn't competed in any championship on the books anywhere, and that's kind of the problem. And maybe if it was really far in the past, if he did a meet 20 years ago, that might not be up easily available somewhere. If he did some California state championship 20, 25 years ago, you know what, that might not be on the books. But if it was some smaller federation, okay, that's understandable, because the internet wasn't as big back then. But today, all your meet records for every meet done in the last 15 years is publicly available. Anyone can get meet results for any federation. He's not in them. Not in them. Same thing, judo champion, like a judo national or world champion. I'm sure he does judo. No records of it. And I don't even care about those. You know what? I really don't care about that level of lie, other than, again, he's using it to sell products. He's using it to sell products directly. That's a problem. That's a problem. And yeah, that needs to be called out. That's totally unacceptable. And that's why he gets called myco-trend. And everyone's like, oh, it's because he uses trend. I honestly don't think the guy uses trend. I really don't. I think if you were to ask me, what's this guy use? I think he probably uses pharma-grade testosterone at a medium dose, and he probably uses a fair amount of growth hormone. And I think he stays on year after year after year after year. I don't think he cycles off of any of that. If I were to guess, based upon his consistent appearance and consistent slow growth well into middle age, that usually at the age most people are losing muscle, even who lift, who are natty, he's continued to gain muscle over those years. I think that's probably what he does. I actually don't think the guy does trend. I think if he had been doing trend all these years at his age, I think his health would be a lot worse. I think the guy uses, out there on the West Coast, that's what I think he does, and I don't think he uses a lot of gear. So for the record, I don't think the guy blasts tons of gear. I think he's just been on moderate amounts of very high quality stuff for a couple decades. And I think that's what it is. I think that's ultimately how he's gotten where he is. If you were to really ask me. So, we call him myco-trend, and people do that as a joke. I actually don't think the guy uses much, if any, trend. I don't think he blasts a bunch of trend. And I could be wrong. I just don't think he does. But the lies about being natty, yeah, that's got to be called out. And particularly, he's even saying, got pictures going back to his teenage years, and then people say, oh, there he is in high school, senior year of high school, graduating. He's big. He's pretty lean and big, and he's claiming he's like 270 there. Massive biceps, big vein on them, and so here's your thing. People say, see, that's signs of good genetics. It's, I know, man. That's signs that he might have been hitting a little bit of sauce when he was a teenager. All right, that's not proof of amazing genetics, and he does have good genetics. Are we going to lie? As far as gaining muscle mass, having a certain structure, the guy is genetically gifted there. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. Does the guy train hard? Yeah, of course he trains hard. Of course he trains hard. I think he fabricates a lot of his lifts, because when he goes to do them in the gym, you can't see that level of performance. Other than that incline bench, assuming those are real plates, that's pretty impressive. But he half squats. Talking about he squatted 800, but he half squats 585? Come on. But the guy's genetically gifted, and clearly sports ran in his family. Athletes, bodybuilders, all in his family, including both his parents were competitive in some different endeavors. So, you know, he clearly is gifted with athletic and size and strength genetics. But Natty, no, that's signs in high school when you're that big at 18 years old. That doesn't mean, oh, you just had amazing top 0.5% genetics, top 1 in a million genetics. No, that's a sign you had really good genetics and were already hitting a little bit of sauce early. All right. Same thing. You go look at Arnold. Go look at Arnold. People are like, wow, look at those. Look how big he was already in his late teens. Arnold admitted he was already using gear by that time. Yeah, he was genetically gifted in certain areas. Definitely was, but he was also already on the sauce by the time he was doing all this stuff in his teens. Big difference, guys. Big difference. And yeah, here's the thing. Coming in out incline benching on camera. They had to do it on camera. He's got to make a show about it. He probably told them on camera, I got to bench more, incline bench more than you guys if you want me to be on the show this time and make my star appearance. And I come in and just smile and have that little ching come off my teeth. And you guys had the little glowing aura and the sound around him when he came in, you know. That's probably what he required. You guys they probably had to let him out incline bench them a little bit just for him to come do the video. Wouldn't surprise me. And then, of course, he's going to claim he's Natty. Natty's going to outlift 3-time world's strongest man who's weighing well in excess of 300 pounds. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.